the parameters there. Then it means the function header, it doesn't have what it doesn't contain what do you call this thing, the parentheses, so it doesn't have the body, you see. Then when they say write the function header, you only write this only. Here it can be the return type. The return type here it can be any variable type, or also if it's a void function, also it can be a void. Then here it's your function name, right? Then also when you are talking about the function definition, so when you're talking about the function definition is where you are having the header and also the body of the function. This is what we call the function definition, right? And also you must know that there is also the function call, right? So when calling a function, it means so putting the variable name as when you are assigning the value that will be returning by the function is not compulsory. So it depends on how you are handling your code there. So now the function, this name function here, it will represent what the function name, then the value parameters and representing the value that will be passing to the function there. Okay, so you must know that there is only two types of the function, which is the return type function and also a void function here. Return type function and also a void function. Okay, so I'm gonna create a program where we'll be working with the headers and also including the function definition and also the calling of the function. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm sure you understand what the headers and also the definition. Okay. So here I'm just going to create a program here working with the headers and the definitions. So first I'm going to just start by declaring the values that I'm going to use, right? So with the example that I'm going to do, it's like I'm just going to declare the two variables, right? Which is going to be the num1 and num2 there. Then after that, I'm going to use a void function, right? So with the void function that I'm gonna use, that void function is gonna ask the user to enter the values for num1 and num2. Then after that, those values will be returned. But in order those two values to be returned, I'm gonna use the reference parameters, right? So in the use of reference parameter, it means if those values in the function header changes there, and automatically also in the main function they're gonna change. So that's why I'll be using the reference parameters. So here inside the main function, so here I'm inside the main function, right? So here I'm just gonna declare the two variables, which is gonna be just num1 and also num2, right? So after here, I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna have a function that's gonna help me to input the values for num1 and num2. So this is I'm making this function a void function because it's not gonna return anything, right? So now it's a void. Then I'm gonna this is the name of the function, input values. This is the name of the function. Then here inside the parameter, right? Here inside the parameters is going to be integer num1. So I'm just going to denote num1 by p, just to denote, just to make it a different variable from the one in the main function there, so that it won't confuse you. So here is num2, right? So this is what you call function header, right? This is what you call function header, right? So this is what you call function header, right? So So this is what we call function header, right? So from here, I'm gonna do what? So I'm just gonna make them separate so that you guys can understand when you talk about the function definition and also the function header, what you're talking about. So here, I'm gonna do what? Function definition below, right? So meaning when they ask you to write a function header, you only include what? One line only. So you can't find yourself where you are writing the function header, then including more than one line. No, just only one line to represent your function header, then you are done with the function header. So here I'm gonna just put the function definition. So the function definition is where I do what? I'm gonna open the parentheses for what? For the header. So this is now is what the function definition, where it has what? The body of the function. So now what this function is gonna do is just gonna input those values, right? So now can ask the user to enter the first number, right? Then after that can just terminate, then cin num1 p, right? So you must know that when you are inside this function, you can access num1 the way it is. So when you are inside here, num1 it is not accessible. Okay. So another C out, enter second number. Okay. So I can just see in, then num2 there. Okay. So it means now I've managed to do what? To enter num1. I managed to ask the user to enter num1 and num2 there, right? Then when the function is done, I must be able to say, let's say now I want to display num1 and num2 inside the main function, right? After the user has entered those values. So I'm just gonna say num1, num1 here. Also inside here, I can just write num2, then put num2 here, right? So here I want to do what? I want to display num1 and also num2, right? And mind you, I used the function to do what? To help me with providing the values, right? So it means I want this num1 and num2 to help me with what? With the values that are gonna be entered by the function. But the thing that I forgot to do here is the what? Calling a function, right? So I have to call a function here, right? So our function name is input values. So now since our function it taking only two parameters, I have to do what? I have to pass two parameters. So once I don't pass the two parameters, then it's gonna give you an error there. So now I have to pass num1 and also I have to pass num2, then terminate my line, right? So it means when the program runs, it's gonna do what? It's gonna start on line 11 in the main function, then on line 14 is gonna call a function which is a input values, pass num1 and also pass num2 there. Then what the function definition is gonna do, it's gonna ask the user to enter the first number and also the second number, right? Then after that, here we are expecting to see out the num1 and also num2, right? So we are not done. There is something that is missing to our program now, right? But I'm gonna run the program for the first time so that you can see that they're gonna be something that is not make sure to our program. So okay, just waiting for the output here. Okay, we have an error. Input values. Okay. Okay, let me check out where the error is coming from here.
Or what about that int?
Okay, come again.
I'm saying, what about that int num1? Those.
Yeah, I'm saying there is an error. So I think the error is, you see where I wrote m there instead of n. So that's where the error is. Okay, you see. So now I think it's fine. Okay, so you see now the program is asking me to enter the first number. So I'm just gonna enter any number, also enter a number here. So now you see now that the num1 and num2, they doesn't make sense. So those numbers, they were just generated randomly. So it means we have to find a way of accessing those two numbers after being entered in a function, right? So okay, let me format this. So being able to access those numbers, it means we must do what? It means we can use the reference parameters, right? So it means we can make this, so making this parameter to be a reference parameter, we just put an AND operator there. And also here, I'm just gonna put an AND operator, right? So after putting the AND operators now, this is what, now this is representing what? A reference parameter, right? So with the reference parameter, it's gonna help us now from the main function passing num1 and num2, if those two values, they change in the function, automatically they're gonna change also in the main function. So that's the reason for using the reference parameters. Okay. So now, after using the reference parameter, right? Okay, let me just format my code. Just gonna end the line here. Okay. I'm gonna build it again. So now you must be able to see the value that we entered from the keyboard displayed on line 16 there. So now there I'm gonna enter a value, also enter a value. So now num1 and num2, they are being displayed here. It's just that the formatting here was not make sure, right? So it means there we were able to do what? To display num1 and num2, right? Using what? The function. Okay, so now, any questions so far? Any questions so far about the function headers and the function definition?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, it means they understand. Okay, fine. I was gonna do another function here. So do you think I can add up another function, let's say for multiplication or for subtraction? Or I do have some questions that we can go through them, because I think if there is no question, I think they understand. So instead of doing the examples, I can
think
just
we can
pick
go
up.
through the questions.
It's gonna help,
The
ne?
questions that you have. That's gonna help.
Okay, right. Let me just go through the question. I do select the question about the function headers, so let's just get straight to them. Okay, this is the questions. So now this question is asking about write the function headers for the function described below,
Okay,
right?
so is this class recorded?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. You can continue.
Yeah. So so this question 4, they're asking about what writing the function header, right? So from 4.1, they say the divide by 2 function received an integer, pass to it, and return the result, which may contain a decimal place, right? So now we have to think about how you're gonna write your function header given the information on 4.1. So we are given that divide by 2 is a function. So it means divide by 2 is going to be our function name. And also they say it receive an integer. So it give us also a hint there. That's our function inside the parameters going to contain what? An integer, right? And also it give us another hint that it do what? It return, right? So when they say it
Yes.
returning the result which may contain a decimal, so it means also it gives us another hint that when it return a decimal, it means our return type it has to be what? A float there, because it will be returning a what? A decimal, right?
Decimal.
Yes.
Yes.
So now representing this kind of now writing the answers for this kind of the question. So the thing that we're gonna do here is just to do what? You have to make sure. Okay. I'm just gonna add up those stuff there, because those one there's no need for us to run them. So now the function type, the return type, what? It's a float, right?
Okay.
That's the first key. So the return type, what? Is the float. So okay, let me format my stuff. Uh, okay, I want to be able to see this page here. Okay. Uh, okay. So the function is the name of the function is divide by what? Divide by 2, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
here on the name of the function, I'm just gonna write divide by 2. That's the name of the function, right? So now I open my parentheses. They said we have an integer. We have an integer pass. Okay. They say this one it receive an integer passed to it. So it means to receive an integer here, you must have an integer, right? And also it return the result which may contain a decimal place. So here I'm just gonna say, okay, uh, var1, or I can just say a number there. So it means you are done with your function header. You see, just to do like this, because they said it receive an integer, but it do what? After the division of 2, it's gonna return what? A decimal. So that's why here is a float.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
that's all.
yeah, that's all. This is the function header that they're asking about. That's all. No
So
need to. Okay.
so is it necessary to write like it's only written like this?
Yeah, it's only written like this. So no need for you to include this. Remember, when I was doing this example, I showed this the function header, then I show you this is the function definition. So no need for you to include the body of the function. You get me? So when they say the function header, don't open the body of the function where you open the parentheses. You get me? We only represent the header only, then we are done.
Oh,
You see?
okay. Okay, I understand now. Okay.
Yeah. Only the header only, then we are done. So going to the second question. Okay. Going to the second question, they say the get gross pay function return a value of type float, right? So you see now they already told us that the get gross pay function return a value of type float. This is the return value of the function. Then also they say and has 2 formal parameters. So when they say it has 2 formal parameters, it's already giving us a hint that our function is gonna have two parameters there, right? Then also they say int variable named hours and also a float variable named rate. So it means this is what we
Hmm?
have to perform.
Yenga,
Then it
ndingateya
means
kuti.
then it means from this information we have to do what? To write our function, right? So
Yes.
what we're gonna do, we just gonna say they said the return type. You see, the function return a value of type float. So it means our return type of a function, it has to be a float. And also the get gross pay is the what is the function name. You see.
Yes.
So just make sure whatever the information that you are given, you are using it. And also you see we are given the function name there. Just have to write it the way it is. Okay. And also they said it has the two formal parameters and int variable named hours. You see, it means now I have to have integer. Okay. I have to have integer, right? Which is
Yes.
hours, which is hours. And also another one they say is a float variable named rate. So float rate. Then we are done, just like this. You're done with 4.2. You see.
So the form that it's the, like, I'm trying to say it's the type, the name, and the,
Yes, the
or
function name.
it's in this order.
Yeah, it's in this order. So it's the thing of, like with the function, you must have the return type, you must have the function name, then also you must have what? You must have the parameters, right? So it's always in this order.
Okay.
It's always in this order, yeah. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
the,
Okay.
yeah. So that's why from the first lesson there, I showed you this. Um, I did show you the syntax of this thing where there is the return type, there is the function name, then inside the bracket it represents the parameters there. So that's why the first lesson I've been showing this thing. This is the syntax for the functions. You get me?
Okay. I do get you.
Yeah. So uh okay. So I'm gonna do the last one. So I'm gonna do the last question. So from the last question, okay, okay. So this one is we have to go through it. So the last question they said the function add and multiply. So this is the function name, right? Has four
Yes.
formal parameters. So the first one they say two int variable named a and b, representing the two values that must be added and multiplied respectively, right? So it means
Yes.
this A and B, it representing the two values that must be added and multiplied respectively there, right? So now they said these values are returned to the calling program by two reference parameters, name, added, and multiply. So it means when we are writing our headers, we must have the return type, and also we must have what? We must have the function name, which is add and multiply. And also we have inside our parameters, we're gonna have what? We're gonna have two integers, which is gonna be a and b, and
A and
also
B.
also we're gonna have another integers again for added and also
Multi-
multiply, right? So now they
Yes.
said, you see, there is the key that what they say, the values are returned to the calling program by two reference parameters. So if you remember from the example that I did, that's where I included the parameters to the reference parameters to our program where after the after the user has entered those two values, then automatically in the main function there'll be those values also they're gonna change. So that's the reason of using the reference parameter here. You see.
Okay.
So
Okay. I see.
now I'm gonna just write what they are asking here, right? So from here, so our function is just gonna return an integer from. So it's the thing of sometimes they won't tell you like the return type. You just have to read the question and analyze it. You get me?
Yes.
You get me? Yeah. So and also check according to the values that they are saying you are receiving in the parameter there. So according to those values that you are receiving in the parameter, then you must be able to get your return type. You get me? Because it's the thing of always depending on the question. You have to read the question and understand how it is. You get me?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we have an integer. So add and
Multiply.
yeah, multiply. So this one is gonna be what? It's gonna be our function name, right? So from there, open my brackets. Then they said we have the two integers. So I'm representing A, another one I'm representing B, right? So they said also we have what? We have the one for the for the adding. Okay, let me check. We have the one for the added and also multiply, right?
Yes.
So those two, okay, those two integer, right? Added, right? Another one
Multiply.
multiply,
Blah.
right? So
Yes.
now now we are not done. There is something that is missing. We must do what? Reference parameters, right? And also here
Yes.
reference parameters. So because they say these two functions, they'll be the one that will be returning the result of the added and multiply through the reference parameters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is done about the question that they were asking us on this question. You see. Uh, okay. So far, yeah. Any question? If others don't have the question, then it means they understand. But yeah, I did try to cover some of the other stuff. So that's how we have to answer those. That is it question one? Yeah, that's how you have to answer it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah, yeah. So the lesson is not gonna be long. So if no one has the question, then I'm closing up. I'm closing up. So next week you can also cover some other stuff there. Maybe I can cover the arrays or whatever there from the assignment. Just gonna depend. But it's just that I'm not
Also,
gonna do exactly. Okay.
yeah, my question is, why did they change the first assignment to
Uh
this one?
okay. According to my understanding is that the first assignment is that one is it is not good for the first year student because it has a lot of stuff and there is a lot of things that we have to apply there. Also a lot of thinking there and there. So it is that assignment is it is not about the basics. You have to know your stuff doing that assignment. You get me? So
Okay.
I can say it is not good for the first year. That's why the lecture changed it.
Okay. 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 I see.
Yeah, so not good for first year student. Okay, guys. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. The function definition, the function headers. Yeah. Then yeah. So guys, I'm also have a YouTube account. So those who gonna want the recording, I'm gonna just post them to my account.
Okay. That would be great.
Yeah. So just post it to my account. So you guys for mail for update and stuff, we can make sure you subscribe and what. So it means after each and every lesson we did, uh the video will just pop up on your side. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no worries. Bye guys. Yeah, that's all we cover. So if any chapter that you want me to cover by next week, you can also like mention it. So then we'll be able to go through it. Maybe if it's an array, you can do them also. Okay. Bye guys.
Oh, bye.
Bye.